guys, I want to bring in Coach Knutson. AJ Knutson is a gun flexbone, and I know he has a specific term for it, but I wanted to use that as simply as possibly because I wanted to frame it for you guys. I'm excited about it. Let me welcome Coach AJ in. Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Hey, guys, how's it going? Good.
Good, man. Thanks for joining us.
Camera, yeah.
Yeah, you are good to go. All right, perfect. Well, thanks for joining us. We got a bunch of coaches on the line from all over the country. They're excited to hear about. All right, let me put. Sorry, I'm gonna put Lucille back up. They're excited to hear about your flexbone plays and just in general how you run what you do. So first, let me just ask you to introduce yourself, just in case anyone hasn't met you out there in our little social media world.
What was that?
I said I just wanted to let you introduce yourself in case someone doesn't know what you're all about.
Sure, I'm Coach AJ Knutson. I've coached in Minnesota and grew up here. And then I've also coached out in California for the last few years. So I've been coaching high school football for 13 years. So
nice. Where in California?
I was up in Modesto for a year and at Mountain House. So for the last few years. So
nice. Very cool. Yeah, I'm pretty close to you, man. My brother lives in Tracy, actually, and I'm just about 20.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. Cool. And more last chance, you name drops there. That one of the teams that were playing, that Modesto team. Just location-wise, saw you guys kind of frame it. It's all up here in NorCal, so very cool. Awesome, man. Well, good. So AJ, I'm going to let you take the floor. I have a info night for my youth organization at 6:30. So I want to give you as much time as possible to go through the top 3 flexbone gun plays that you think you would recommend these guys adding. I told you a little bit of background. We're spread guys, we're air raid guys for the most part, and we really only carry 3 run plays. So we're always looking for ideas. We're always looking for ideas of what's a great run play that I can implement. So I'll let you go ahead and just take it away, but I'm going to blow up the screen for you a little bit. There we go.
We call it gun spread option football is what we call it. The first play is midline that we run, and it's a simple read for the quarterback. We always had to start by identifying the 1, so the count starts on or outside the guard, and so this would be the guy you're reading right here. So you're blocking back here. These splits, we tell these guys to widen until this defender stops moving. Then you stop. So big splits, blocking back. Now this guy, if your guard can do it, all he is diving across or stepping and getting at that backer there. And then for midline, the rule is the kick out the 2. And so your dive back will run straight up that center's butt. And your quarterback's just pulling and replacing, just like that. Your Y would block here. Now we tell our wide receivers, if it's zone, if they're looking inside, then we block. If he's looking at you, we know it's man, and you're trying to run him off. And when you try to run him off, see if you can get by him, and then we can throw a play action pass deep off of just a little play action and see if we can hit those guys. Those guys report back to us. So this is midline against an even front. I will.
So midline, before we became a spread team, midline was a big part of our offense, being a part of the triple option De La Salle world. That play is nasty. I mean, that is honestly, I've heard that referred to, and it's in every spread playbook, by the way. Cam Newton made a living at Auburn running that spread midline play, and the way you had it drawn up, where you leave that D tackle alone, and you're reading an interior D tackle. I know you coached youth along your journey as well, right, AJ?
Yeah, 9th grade, but I was D coordinator for 9th grade. So
okay, cool. Were you guys running this offense, a similar offense during that period of time?
No, we were under center, split back veer.
Okay. Oh, no, that's even closer to what I was talking. Interesting.
Yeah.
So from a youth perspective, we run midline. We've always run midline, and we still ran it last year. That was our one inside run. What do you think? You think a middle school kid? You think a middle school quarterback can always can read that D tackle to pull the option, or what do you think? You think that's a high school thing, or I'm curious of what your opinion of it is, how hard it is to read, essentially.
We when we in 7th grade we ran split back veer under center from 7th grade all the way to 12th grade, and so it's just repetition on the working on your reads.
Yeah. Okay.
The nice thing, like on a gun, like for odd fronts, I'll show you here, is again you're just going to do your count 1 and your 2, so you're reading 1, kicking out 2, so then you're here and here. But now this is something we picked up from Tony the Mayo. Is this guy's still going to run right at that center, but now he's going to read that center's block, so he can cut play side or he can cut back side. And it's actually way up there. But so with that, these backers, when you're down their center, Flexbone, because we ran that for a while, as soon as this quarterback opened and you had your fullback here, this backer would fly right over the top. And so now this way, these guys have to defend this true. Now they can't just fly play side because that running back can cut back. And actually, when we put it in and installed it, we were probably hitting this 80% of the time. We're hitting the cutback more than running it play side. Now this obviously this is unblocked here. So pre-snap, we like to run the bubble screen. So if this guy's not out here, if he's actually in the box, then we will throw the screen. But if he's out here, then we won't have to worry about him. So depending on where he lines up, depends on if we're gonna run the player, just throw that little bubble. And then again, he's here, he's there. And then if those guys would run that pre-snap, run your RPO pre-snap on the backside of that.
So, Coach, let me ask you a question. On this one, how is the quarterback deciding? Who's he reading to decide if he hands it or keeps it?
The 4 technique right here.
Oh, so he's not – okay, good. So he's not being blocked. You're leaving him uncovered, and that's the read.
Yep, exactly. Yep, your run's your read guy.
Okay, so let me back it up for everyone. I'm sorry. Coach Jolly just asked, and it makes me realize that not everyone came from a triple option offense like I did. So back up. Let's back up a little bit. So midline, everyone, is essentially and Coach Knutson, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the original midline was literally, they're talking about the midline of the center's ass, and that running back is aiming to go right up the crack of his butt, the midline of his crack, and basically you're leaving an interior D tackle on one side or another. I can't remember what technique. Looks like the one technique, and he's going to be, if he attacks the dive back, the quarterback pulls it and then replaces him where he is basically. And if he doesn't, if he stays put, then he's gonna give. Is that a good way to? Is that a close enough synopsis, AJ? Is it me or am I frozen?
No, I think he's frozen.
Oh, he's back. Okay, cool. Sorry, I didn't catch. I don't know if you heard my question. Was that a good explanation of how? How they're reading midline?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You're just reading the first unblocked defender, head up or outside the guard. So.
Perfect. Okay, that's a great way to. Okay, so sorry, I should have started with that. That's my fault.
Oh. Now
all right,
we're
cool.
Jump into 2 triple option plays.
Is midline the first play you install? I mean, is that literally where you start? I mean, it's like day one.
Yep, start there.
Kind of work your way out.
exactly. These all kind of go hand in hand together. These will actually be now. Why I have a numbering system will make sense here because it doesn't matter where these defenders line up. Put my here, defender there, defender there. So now with inside veer, it'll be like it's so nice with inside veer. These are it's exactly the same, but inside veer tells us that we're leaving the 1 and the 2 alone. So we're gonna load this guy, make sure we have this backer to here. That's his track. He's blocking here. Same there. He'll block there, and then the same there. Or sorry, he'll be your pitch back. So here you're gonna motion behind the quarterback for pitch, and then again he's the same run lane. And now that quarterback's gonna work towards the line of scrimmage. Now here, number 1's your dive key, and you're pitching off number 2. And that's inside veer. Inside veer versus an even front.
And I love that. And one of the things that these De La Salle coaches have drilled into my mind, just like he's showing the quarterback, he's not showing the quarterback going sideways, guys. He's actually working. And for us, the guy was under center, and we still the arrows we would draw would be upfield, right? Like you have to get some push up there.
Yep, work down the line of scrimmage. That's what he's told. Work towards the line of scrimmage.
Love it. I love it. Okay. And it's the same reads that you leave in that one technique alone, and that's going to tell you to dive or not, or to keep.
Exactly. One thing I should say, since I have this up now, I got 2 if and thens for both. This goes for both midline and inside veer with this. If your number 1 lines up in the A gap, then we run outside veer. And if your number 2 defender lines up in the B gap, then we run speed option. That's the 2 if and thens that are built in.
So love it.
You can't run the play with the guys in the gap. So that's
interesting.
That's the automatic if and thens that we have built in. And so
Gotcha.
we don't even know, the kids just automatically know that if he's lined up here, that's the play we run. So
cool. I love that. I love to give the kids the freedom. And do they make that call on the line by themselves, or is that something you guys are yelling from the sideline, or a mixture of both? Or
basically, if they see that, they don't really have to say anything. But if they do need an audible, and some kids don't know, because really when we get up here, our center calls out poison. So right now,
got it.
He was lining up here, he would just point to this guy and be like, poison, poison, poison. And these guys know they got to block these 2 guys. So we just have a poison call that our center calls out, so the kids know who not to block.
Got it. No, that makes sense. And
now this is my favorite play out of this. Again, this will be out of a. Now you can leave all 7 guys in the box. That's fine with us. Because when you're running this now here, again, here's your count. Here's your 1. Here's your 2. So here's your dive. Here's your pitch. And we're going to block back a full man. We're going to have a true double team at the point of attack to this backer. And then this tackle gets down on this linebacker. Again, so he's still got the option, the same path. He's going to run at that center's butt, make his cut, play side or backside. Again, motion the W behind for pitch. And there's nobody left. So this is what it'd look like again. So you got 7 in the box on 5, and we have the numbers. So
yeah,
and the angles on the blocks. I mean, this is probably the best play there is.
So how is that different than inside veer?
This is inside veer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said it. I thought you said you were going to outside veer. Okay, sorry. I got it.
That's still inside.
That's just out of a different look. I got you. Okay, sorry.
Yep. And then the other thing too is, if you don't want to motion this guy, then just line him up, and we just call this for us it's flex, and you can just have a motion right. You can just have them run the pitch route right next to your quarterback too, if you want to do it that way, either or.
Right.
We noticed some teams when we did this, they'll roll their coverage so we don't really gain the advantage, or they blake the blitz off the backside of that. So if we get a lot of that, then we'll just line right up in it. Then they don't do that. So
Yeah.
Another adjustment you can do based on
Love it.
what. So
back to your split back veer roots a little bit. Awesome.
Exactly. Yep.
Very cool.
But the nice thing is out of gun, you get that cutback. Under center don't have that cutback. So backside guys don't really do anything. I mean, we are always taught backside under center with, the tackle and tight end went and blocked safeties. So, but now you hold these backers at bay. So, and then like I said, if this guy blitzes, then he's just got to step down really hard and just plant him. So,
love it. So what I'm curious, and I want to see outside veer. We're getting questions all over this. They want to see outside veer as well. But just in general, you brought it up, running it up from under center, which is the traditional way, obviously, to what you've done and kind of created this in a spread gun version. Advantages. I mean, it sounds like that's one of them, right? Being able to, your backs have a little bit more options when they get the ball. Any other advantages that you?
The big advantage is when you formations. We literally have on our offense, you have 50 formations. Now you're running under center, and you have to have a die back and a pitch back. You're very limited on your formations. So that's why we tried it on pistol. Pistol, we tried that for a season. It didn't work that well. It was too slow, and it limited our formations and it limited our emotions. Because we have 8 option plays and 12 run plays. So
wow.
So part of the package is really hard to stop once you have it all on paper. When you run it, 12 run plays, and then we use on average 14 different formations. So you can really use formations on a gun to your advantage. And plus, they have to play the pass.
Right.
Blow the box here because, like I said, if they want to move guys over, then you just throw your little quick screens, your easy high completion passes. So.
Absolutely. And then one question just came in, that S back, your tailback, is he really that close? I mean, what is the alignment? Do you guys do like 1-on-1 there?
So with our quarterback, we are at 3.5 to 5 based on how fast our S is. And our S is usually 1 foot by 1 foot from that quarterback.
He's tight. I like it.
He's hugging them pretty tight. Because we want to hit north and south, A gap, bam, fast.
Totally.
So.
Yeah. I went to University of Nevada, and I played before they installed the pistol, but I mean they ran a lot of this with Kaepernick during that time period. They don't do as much of that anymore. They're back to air raid, but yeah, these plays just explode. I mean, when these are explosive plays, guys. You guys out there, inside veer, it's not a sexy play, but it explodes. Like when that hits, it pops, and it pops quite a bit more than you would think. So I love this. Okay, cool. Hey. Before we run too much out of time, will you go to outside veer? I want to make sure we get that on tape. Go ahead, Fasil. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Hey, Coach, as you're doing that, for that W, you mentioned that sometimes you'll do a bubble out there. Do you call that play, or is that just a read by the quarterback, and if he sees it, he throws it, or you're calling the bubble specifically?
Oh, it's pre-snap. If they're not defending it, then we're gonna throw it.
Yep.
And he run that every single time because he doesn't know if that quarterback's gonna throw it, unless he really this guy's going to do. So he has to run it every time. But it's only a midline against that hang defender that we can't account for.
Makes sense. I mean, that fits in really well with our philosophy. We're taking, just like you, sounds like, if people are going to give us free yards, we're going to take it all day.
All day.
All right, Coach Jolly. So the the thing that's counterintuitive with triple option football, Coach Jolly, AJ, we just got to call in. You probably heard this question a million times from coaches like us that don't run this as a vocation, but like the question is how do, if we just leave those defenders alone, how do they not just blow up the play every time? And number one, let me just start with the youth football answer. Things aren't as spread out in youth football as they are in high school or those above levels where, like, a four-man front truly is spread out to where you can isolate people. But AJ, what's your answer to that? I'm sure you've answered that question a trillion times.
It's splits. They're not. I can't draw the splits on the board, but I can show you. I have a picture of our splits, but these splits are not 2 feet split. They're not 3 foot splits. They're literally 5 foot splits.
Baby.
I'll go over it again. We tell this guy, especially backside, his job is to walk from this center and keep walking until this defender stops. So
wow.
Had him the hash marks on both. I've had tackle on the hash marks. I
love it.
So this box,
I love to see that on tape.
It might be this box here might already be 10 yards wide if these guys will walk with them. And especially in middle school and high school, if this kid's told to line head up on this guy, then he'll line up head up on that guy. I mean that's what he's to do. So that's what he does.
I'm trying that out because we push an air raid. We push for 3 foot splits, and that's like it's like we're speaking alien language when we say that to people. And you're even taking it further, and I love that. And in a running offense, that makes my heart happy. So that's cool, man. That's great. I'm gonna try to use that. Just keep walking. Just see if they keep following you. Whatever.
Yeah. Against Central Catholic, it took them a whole entire half. I literally told my running back, I said, I want these splits big because if we don't get these guys blocked, at least we have a run lane. So I had my running back laying between the guys, and I'm like, yeah, that's how far I want. My running back was almost 6 foot, so I'm like, we had 6 foot splits for the whole first half of the game until they figured out that they had to put the guys in the gap, and we went back to our normal splits. So
that's hilarious, man. Awesome. Okay, get after this. I'm eating up all your time, and I've only got like 12 minutes left.
Sure. Outside here. So now we're going to block the 1, read the 2, pitch off 3. The only person needs to know that we're pitching off 3 is the quarterback. I don't teach my line that. So we're going to block 1. If he needs help, you can double it to the backer. Center's just going to cut him off there. These guys, we're not spending these guys downfield. I don't like that. This is kind of time for them to kind of take a play off and just get in that guy's way. And then again, we're going to motion back. And then he's going to come up here. He's actually going to bring the safety in here and play side. We do want to cut the splits now on this a little bit so that right now, and he's going to cut right off there just like that. And so
what's his aiming point? Sorry, Coach. What's his aiming point, that running back?
Right off that guard's right butt cheek.
Right butt cheek. Love it. Okay.
Well, I mean, like I said, play side, but the outside butt cheek, I said, it's good to say.
Right.
We really do want this defender coming down, smoking that. He usually does, and then the quarterback's off, and you got one guy to try to take on 2 guys. So it's a great play.
I love it.
Everything else, because once midline, you've been kicking this guy. Inside here, you've been leaving this guy, so he's been coming down, and then this guy too with inside here, he's been coming down and top to take dive, so it makes this guy's block even easier. So when you run all 3 of these plays together, these guys really are just, their heads are spinning.
Yep, totally. And so, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, because I have questions about outside veer, but I'm assuming speed option is very similar, except what the S is the back is the pitch back and the W stays home, or
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Take this guy out, and yes, that's our speed option. We block it just like inside veer, just like outside veer. Exact same blocking. Now we're just going to read this guy, and we're just going to block that guy right there. I'm just going to leave him.
Guys, these two plays, I think, and I when I first found air raid, I was dead set on combining triple option and air raid. These 2 plays, outside veer and speed option, I think can complement it very well. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's absolutely right. The only thing like would change is if this guy would be in the gap. If they played gaps, then we're just gonna cut this guy down. The Y's gonna come in, and we're just gonna have this a wall here, and then we're gonna pitch off this guy. If for some reason these guys are playing gaps, which I mean that's an easy call. I mean if the guy where we're getting killed on the inside, these guys could switch down to the gap, and we're just gonna get outside all that. So
yeah,
but
awesome.
that would be a trigger run speed option. Now outside here, I'll get outside veer against odd front because you don't have outside veer against an odd front unless I'll get it drawn up here real quick.
No worries. Love it. I love the triple option world. It's fun, man. It's not our bread and butter in this group, but I think it's a vital part of football history and run at the right time. I mean, you see speed option in the pros, and with these mobile quarterbacks nowadays, you start seeing a lot of outside veer in the pros even with all these mobile guys. So it's fun to take pieces of different offenses to see how they could all fit together, if they can all fit together.
So even if you cut the splits on outside veer, put that up there, outside veer. We did run it up in Modesto when I was up there up at Surrey's. We did run it because our running back he ran a 4.37 40, so he was really fast. But typically we don't like to run it against a 4 technique. So if these guys come down into 3 techniques like that, which we see because guys want to load this box and try to take away midline and inside veer and all the running we've been doing inside, then we can run it. So then we can go like that. So you block the 1, leave the 2, and actually there really isn't a 3 because he's being blocked. But we don't change anything because we don't know how the defense is going to line up. So he still motions like he would, and then we're still going to kid off the double team, tight off that right butt cheek, and still work down the line. So it's not great against the 4 technique. They would have to be in a 3 technique, or else we would just. So if we had outside veer called and they were lined up in the 4, it automatically changed to inside veer. It's one of those if and thens and an auto call that we have. And then it does change a little bit backside. It's not a big deal, but you would want to. We do scoop that 3 technique on the backside. So
Amazing.
That's how you'd have to do it against an odd front. Based on your personnel, you can do it against a 4, but it's not a great running angle. So it's something that we've learned and that we've changed and adjusted to.
Yeah, no, this is great. I'm stealing this one because this was our bread and butter. As 8-year-old, we won a title with split back veer, but outside veer, this is exactly the play. And this is the one I want to get into our playbook. So thank you, Coach. You guys, if you have any questions, we're gonna be on this show for about 6 more minutes. I apologize. I kept talking too long during Coach Facile's clinic, and I didn't leave AJ enough time. So if you guys have questions, throw them in the chat now or call in. Otherwise, I want to get AJ back on for sure. I want to give him more time. He has, as you guys heard, little different philosophy than us. He's got 12 option. What'd you say, Coach? 12 option plays and 8
and 12 run because
exactly.
We don't option or we do have option office. We have 2 options off a sweep, and then we run this straight sweep. So
yeah, exactly. So you guys, he has plenty more to share. I asked him to come in and do his top 3, which, yeah, I mean, guys, those Oregon Duck years when they were just flying around, they were running triple option out of the gun. And look, there's a lot of similarities to what Coach is showing you here in those high flying Duck years. So, yeah, throw in any questions if you have them now. Coach AJ, I put in the email for this show, his YouTube channel and his Facebook group. He has a Facebook group as well. So guys, please take a moment right now to go subscribe to his YouTube channel as well as the Facebook group. Join that. I'm going to drop them in the summary below. Let me get us all back on here. I'm going to drop it on the summary below after this call, so you could just go down there and click into it so you can follow him. And all that good stuff. But I'd love to have AJ back on to kind of go into a few more of them. AJ, do you have anything else you wanted to say as we wait for questions to come in?
No, just thank you for having me on here. And I do have every single option play that we run against every single defense on my YouTube. I think I have like 50 videos, and I've been starting to work on, because I was the old line coach, and I've been for like 13 years. I was the old line coach for 6 of them. So I'm trying to get all my old line run stuff up there too, and all my drills and all my stuff like that I've learned over the years.
Yeah, that's amazing. And this group in particular eats up drill film. I don't know if do you have any like game film that cut ups or anything that you could bring on, or do you have any access to that kind of stuff?
I do not right at the moment until the season starts. All I have is one highlight film on YouTube that you can go watch.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, the drill stuff is so important for us youth coaches, because just like air raid, we're just trying to educate coaches that, most of us, we only played to a certain level, and we just know what we know. We're just trying to give some true new education to any youth coach that wants to try their hand at whether it's air raid or Flexbone or out of the gun. So we appreciate you coming on, man. I think it's great, and we'll make sure everyone goes and joins you. But I'm going to reach back out to you, AJ, to get you back on so we can go a little deeper. I apologize we didn't have as much time as I would have hoped.
No problem, because I don't really have, I'm limited on space, and so one separately.
No, it's perfect. This is exactly how I would have wanted to teach it, one by one, and so everyone can now take screenshots. I just took a screenshot actually of that outside veer. Hey, Coach Jason, you back in the house?
The mic's working now.
Hey, there he goes. All right, cool. Just in time to say goodbye.
Yeah, I know, right? I had to wait to the end.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank
you guys. Times you guys did great.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, Coach Manny wants to see more speed option. AJ, I know we just touched on that real quick. But yeah, I think speed option could be something you could probably break down for 20 minutes all by itself. So we'll definitely get you back on, and we'll get into a little bit deeper. You guys, let's go around the horn. Coach Facile, anything before we depart?
No, that was actually great, Coach. I actually like watching the inside veer stuff. I ran that in high school, so it kind of took me back.
There you go. Coach Jason, you guys is the hurricane past you, or are you guys, getting into the storm shelter?
I'm about 100 miles north of Myrtle Beach, and it's about ready to make landfall in Myrtle Beach. So we're going to be going through the night. It's supposed to be going basically right over top of us. So let's see.
Okay. Be safe out there, Coach.
Thank you.
Be safe for sure. Coach AJ, anything on the way out the door?
No, if you want to take a screenshot of this.
Yes, sir.
It starts on guard. The count starts outside of center, outside of center. So nice. There's rules. I don't label defenders because I don't care what position plays in front of them. I just need them to know this. So.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. I love that way of teaching, right? Like, let's just make them, as long as they can understand it, let's go run.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys. I apologize for having to run at a certain time tonight, but we'll be back next week with a couple more clinics. We're going to try to do clinics and keep this educational. We'll have some time to talk some crap and maybe make some bets on Tyson versus Roy Jones in the coming weeks.
When is the actual fight, Coach? When is that date?
Would you say, Felice?
I know it's in September.
Yeah, fall. Yeah, September-ish, something like that.
Do you know where they're fighting that at? Is it in the United States, or is it?
I don't know. Is Tyson still banned from boxing in Vegas?
Good question. No, it's going to be in L.A. September 12th.
L.A.?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, nice. I might have to drive down there for that one.
Yeah.
All right. No, they got too much COVID down there. Fuck that.
Yeah.
All right, cool, guys. Thank you guys for watching out there. Thanks for all the great questions and participation. Go find AJ stuff online. It's going to be in the description. Go connect with Facile online. Coach Ross, his channel is about to come out, so we'll start promoting that soon. And as always, thank you guys for joining us. Let's continue to teach the air raid or the spread, get the ball passing around. We want to get these participation numbers back up. That's always been the goal. And we'll talk to you guys next time. All right. See you guys.
All right, Coach.
All right, thanks, coaches. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Yeah.
Have a good one.